Two sour opponents with a flavour for victories lock horns in Sunday's Manchester Derby on the Etihad Stadium, as Manchester City play host to Manchester United. The Red Devils have now no longer been in Premier League movement, considering the fact that getting the hire of Arsenal 3-1 on September 4, at the same time as Pep Guardiola's Aspect ran out 3-0 winners over Wolverhampton Wanderers earlier than the worldwide ruin. Another day, some other purpose for Erling Braut Haaland. Now sitting on a first-rate 11th for the Premier League season, the 22-year antique scored his Aspect second in a complete 3-0 win over Wolves following Jack Grealish's opener 55 seconds into the contest. Any hopes of Wolves staging a first-rate comeback had been dashed, while Nathan Collins acquired a directly purple card for an inexcusably excessive mission on Grealish, and a 69th-minute strike from Phil Foden finished the task for the reigning champions. Pep Guardiola's Aspect had in short back to the pinnacle of the pile with that 3-0 fulfillment. However, Arsenal's next win with the aid of using the equal scoreline over Brentford intended that the champions went into the worldwide ruin in second place, one factor adrift of the North London club. At least one in every of Arsenal or third-located Tottenham Hotspur will drop factors in Saturday lunchtime's North London derby. That could probably open the door for Man City to reclaim their rightful spot on the pinnacle of the pile with a 10th successive domestic win in all competitions. It comes as little marvel to study that Man City are the Premier League's main scorers on domestic turf this season, racking up 14 in only 3 such video games and conceding a joint low 2, and all 7 in their remaining pinnacle flight wins at domestic were followed with the aid of using at the least 3 goals. The reigning champions ought to rarely be higher organized for this contest, however, nor ought to Man United, who were disenchanted to peer the worldwide ruin come round while it did, as they are seeking to keep their wealthy vein of form. The loss of life and kingdom funeral of Queen Elizabeth II way that the Red Devils could be taking element of their first Premier League fixture for almost a month this weekend, having misplaced to Real Sociedad and triumph over Sheriff Tiraspol with inside the Europa League, considering the fact that 3-1 fulfillment over Arsenal. Having overseen a dramatic upturn in fortunes at Old Trafford with 4 consecutive pinnacle flight wins, Erik ten Hag changed into exceeded the Premier League's Manager of the Month award for September after main his Aspect to 5th with inside the table, 5 factors adrift of Man City with a sport in hand. A run of 3 successive away wins, with 3 smooth sheets to boot, represents an ability recipe for fulfillment for ten Hag on the Etihad. However, no guy considering the fact that Sir Alex Ferguson has been cap in a position to influence the Red Devils to victory of their first Manchester derby in raid of the club. Man City did the double over Man United with the aid of using in combination scoreline of 6-1 with inside the 2021-22 season, causing a heavy 4-1 defeat upon their opponents on the Etihad lower back in March. However, no fixture with inside the Premier League has visible the away Aspect win on extra occasions, 21 to be exact. Man City will count on to be boosted with the aid of using the long-awaited go-back of Aymeric Laporte from a knee damage for the Manchester Derby, and the centre-lower back's comeback could be well-timed after John Stones went off with a good hamstring in England's draw with Germany. Laporte will maximum possibly should accept mints instead given his prolonged layoff, as Manuel Akanji and Ruben Dias retain with inside the coronary heart of the backline, and Guardiola could be without Calvin Phillips for some of weeks because of shoulder surgery. Kyle Walker's go back to healthway that Guardiola is protected at right lower back with inside the absence of Stones, at the same time as Haaland ought to grow to be the primary participant ever to attain a hat-trick in 3 successive Premier League domestic suits this weekend. Over at Old Trafford, Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford have made robust development of their recoveries from damage and re-education with the squad this week, that could see each strikers go back for the derby. Rashford is positive to begin up pinnacle over Cristiano Ronaldo if he's suit enough, despite the fact that the Portuguese could be taken into consideration for an area if the Englishman's restoration nonetheless leaves something to be desired. Harry Maguire continued a torrid time with England, which culminated in him returning to Man United with a good hamstring. However, Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez had been usually predicted to pair up on the lower back. Martin Dubravka, Donny van de Beek, Brandon Williams and Aaron Wan-Bissaka constitute some other wealth of damage worries for Man United, and Ten Hag is dealing with some other choice catch-22 situation with Casemiro and Scott McTominay, with the previous pushing difficult for a begin here. Manchester City feasible beginning lineup. Ederson, Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Cancelo, Silva, Rodri, De Bruyne, Foden, Haaland, Grealish. Manchester United feasible beginning lineup: De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Martinez, Malaysia, Casemiro, Eriksen, Antony, Fernandes, Sancho, Rashford,